Well, to quote the great dope John Paul, "Bitch, you ain't a 10, you just a 6 to Harambe." It's 100% pure logos. They have very, very short time preferences. I get emails practically every day saying, "So where's the lawsuit against this guy, or where's this?" It's like, I already said we're not doing anything for a while. Depending on the jurisdiction, we have anywhere between 1 and 4 years to do something about it. That's not a priority. Why make a priority of a hit piece in a media organization? Because most of the media has learned not to do that. Most of them have learned that they can't take that risk. The media doesn't have the money that it used to have. Look at the layoffs they've been engaging in. They are living on thin margins. So they can't afford to fight, let alone fight and lose one of these battles. And that's why this is an optimal time for everybody who gets slandered and libeled and defamed by the media to go after them. You're dealing with freelance reporters who have no money. You're dealing with these organizations that are living off of their investors' funds and are not profitable. And so you can just put your thumb on the scale if they give you the opportunity. I'm not, and that's what I'm saying. This is how you hit back harder. When you get targeted by an organization, then you go and you talk to a lawyer, and for probably less than $100, you can get them to write you a letter that will make it very clear what they've done wrong. Remember, you always have to talk to people. People say, you're just bluffing, you're just threatening. No, what you're doing is absolutely necessary before you can begin the entire process. You always have to talk. You always have to give them the opportunity to cure. I mean, that's more of a contractual term. And here's the other big secret. There's two types of lawyers in general. I mean, obviously there's more, but generally there's two types of lawyers. You've got contract lawyers, which are the business guys, and then you've got litigators. Litigators are the ones who fight these things. And litigators are, but what you quickly realize when you're actually engaging with them is that they don't know anything about the facts, about the law, about the processes, etc. Keep in mind, some of the best litigators pride themselves on not even having to prepare for court. What they're good at is they're good at rhetoric. They're good at going in front of a judge or a jury and speaking passionately and getting the audience to buy into their narrative. That's what they're good at. But here's the thing. That doesn't even happen until the very, very end of the process. And think about this. What is one of the most effective ways to destroy rhetoric from the dialectical point of view? Can anyone tell me that? What is the best way to rhetorically destroy rhetoric using dialectic? Not playing on people's feelings. It's by demonstrating that they don't know what they're talking about, by proving conclusively that their whole passionate rhetorical presentation is fundamentally based on a falsehood. The gray man has it right. Beat them before they can start talking. And so, and that's what you'll learn once you start dealing with some of these people, is that they're really, really bad about getting the facts right. So what they'll do is they will try to, they make all these outrageous claims, but the claims will be false. And the claims will be, often they will complain about something that you have to do. So for example, many terms of use require you to talk to somebody before you can take action. Whether it's an arbitration, whether it's court, whatever, you have to talk to them. So you talk to them. What do they do then? They start complaining that you're threatening them. But all you're doing is what you have to do. And so as you point these things out, and Steve Bennett also has a good point, they repeat others' lies. That's exactly correct. They repeat others' lies, so that's a good place to attack them as well. And I can't go into any detail at this point in time, but I'll just say that when I'm able to share some of the facts with you, what you'll see is the errors are on the level. The errors by the lawyers, the litigators, are on the level of the woman claiming that Mongol is code for African American. And Alaskan Tool Bear gets it. He says, yeah, preemptively illustrate the truth before the claim could ever hold water. If there's no container, the water is not going to convince anyone because it's not even going to stick around. But you have to anticipate that they're going to do this, and you have to respond to it. You have to put in the time, and you have to put in the effort. Does it take a lot of time? No. It took me maybe 20 minutes to go through the article, check each of the falsehoods, misrepresentations, lies, and then just address each one with a bullet point. Deli Rasa says, are litigators just hired guns that come in at the end then? No, they're usually brought in, well, at least in our experience, they're usually brought in fairly early. For whatever reason, lawyers like nothing better than to hire other lawyers to do their work for them. I mean, it's astonishing how whenever you talk to a lawyer, one of the first things that they'll tell you is that he knows somebody else who can do the work. But he'll still want you to hire him, and then he'll oversee the work that you're paying the other person to do. We'll have the resources, whether it's followers who are lawyers in the right jurisdiction, or whether it's supporters who are willing to, put together a legal defense fund or whatever. Anybody who's in that position probably has the resources, has more resources than a small media organization. Candace James is trying to play smart girl. Only a solicitor can instruct a barrister. That's why litigation is like that. I'm surprised your team of lawyers didn't tell you that. Okay, moron. We're not talking about UK law here. We're talking about the US law. There are no solicitors or barristers. They're just lawyers. Artillery Matt, could you explain why you brought up the Anti-Swatting Act of 2018 if it wasn't enacted? Because that was what I was referring to. You know, people have this idea that swatting means the SWAT team was called. That's not true. First of all, nobody calls the SWAT team. You get that right. The SWAT team is one of many possible responses when police reports are filed. The illegal act does not involve the SWAT team showing up somewhere. The illegal act is in the attempt to get the authority to respond in some way. The laws that are being written to address this stuff, the regulations and policies that are being addressed, or that are being created to address this stuff, all refer to swatting as the filing of a police report to do something. I just happened to pick that one because it defined the term very clearly. Let's see here.